How's it, everyone? Welcome, magnificent, extraordinary human beings. Today is going to be a very special workshop, a very special mastermind, because I'm going to take on the journey of how I went from literally like, you know, nothingness. I almost had to almost give away everything. I had like a suitcase and a tog bag for gym. That was it. That's all I really possessed. This is about 2 years ago. I'm in a much better place now. But what I really had to do is I really literally had to get rid of everything, start fresh, and build myself up from scratch. Uh, and I can go into more detail in the previous masterminds. You can really understand what happened there. I want to move on to really where I am today and what's manifested in my life through what I've learned. So I'm going to go ahead and share this presentation with you, and we are going to have some fun. So please enjoy, and let me make sure. Let's go and enjoy the session. Excellent. Hope you can all see this. If you can, I'd love a thumbs up, or maybe just kind of give me a comment in the section box below. Okay. This is all about the laws of sacred manifestation, which is super important because we all hear about the laws of attraction, the laws of the universe, laws of cause and effect. These are all magnificent. They're all pretty much the same thing. There's just different approaches. So it's like, for instance, I like pistachio ice cream. Okay. Now, a lot of people don't like pistachio ice cream. They love pistachios by themselves. They would never in a trillion years think of eating pistachios in an ice cream. Well, maybe they do. I'm using that as an example. I'm trying to entertain you. So be entertained. Okay. Do I entertain you? So with the law of manifestation, okay. You see. Oops, there you go. I apologize. I'm trying to get this to work here. There's three foundational alignment and abundance aspects to it. So think of it as three. That's an easy number to think, okay? It's three. Yes. This all has to do with the creator of the universe, the master, God. Yes, it's all about him. Everything that's the source. We're an extension of him. It all comes from, I can't even call him him. I call him the creator. He's the master. His name is unspoken. That's how magnificent he is. He is the source of everything. So when you're looking at the ocean and you see the waves breaking, okay, those waves they're an extension of the ocean because they're breaking waves, but they're not the ocean, but they're an extension of the ocean. So think of yourself as that way. So you are an extension of the creator. So you are a co-creator. Yes, you are a co-creator. You're not the creator. That's the source. Okay, that's God. That's the master of the universe. So in this, I'm going to teach you how I went from nothingness, okay, nothing, to something. Because I did this. It was very, very simple. It literally wasn't rocket science, because when you're at your most dire, desperate moments, you seek and you're clawing at life for survival of how to get to the next level. So under these three literal foundational aspects is, under foundation, you got your clear intentions, like what are your goals? So what is your goal? And only have one goal. I'm not talking 10, 20, you want 50 exotic cars. That's not healthy. I'm talking one goal. Focus on one goal at a time, because that's where all your energy must go. One goal. If you want to get your book onto the best-selling list on the New York Times, you can do that. Make that your one focus, your one goal. Don't have that plus buying a home in the Hamptons, plus your private jet worth $30 million. No, one goal. Clear intentions. Have clarity in your mind. Make it your focus, okay? Then you'll visualize that, and then you'll believe that you've already achieved that, okay? And now how do we get that? Well, we get ourselves into alignment. How do you do that? Well, through meditation, okay, through taking action, because action solves everything. And then when you're in alignment, you feel peace. Oh, you feel harmony. Yes. Okay. And then what transpires from that positive energy? Abundance. And then every day you wake up with gratitude about what you received. You have patience knowing, okay, you probably won't see it today. Maybe you'll see it tomorrow. Maybe you'll see it in a week's time. Maybe 6 months' time. It took me on my goals 2 years to receive a goal of mine. And it was well worth it, because that 2 years is a lifetime of experience and memory. So those 2 years of believing I would have the dream girl, it was a lifetime of my experience, right? So it's worth it. And then mastery, then doing it over and over again for many multiple different things. So one dream I had, there was this new company called DreamWorks that was started by Jeffrey Katzenberg, Steven Spielberg, and David Geffen. That's why you get DreamWorks SKG. If you look over here at the bottom, SKG, Spielberg, Katzenberg, and Geffen. When they launched this company, oops, sorry guys. When they launched this company, I immediately wanted to work at DreamWorks. And so for 6 months, I read every article. I covered it with the OPM, the offices, and I literally tracked the progress of DreamWorks that Spielberg was OPM at that time. And I said, I'm going to get a job at DreamWorks. I don't know what job I was going to get at DreamWorks because I had really no idea. Well, here was the thing. Here's the most amazing thing. I met a gentleman in my complex who was in the mailroom at DreamWorks. He was leaving, and his boss asked him to find his replacement. It was me. Now, I was working on movie sets at that time, making really good money. On one movie set, I was making like $175 a day, $175 a day. This is going back, 26 years ago. It was good money. But I was so focused on working DreamWorks, they offered me the mailroom position. I took it, okay? Little did I know, after 6.5 years, I'd work on some of the most prolific, some of the biggest movies ever to come into existence that are going to be here forever. That was my intense focus in 6 months. So I do see a cycle. I see in my manifestations, I see a 6-month cycle. I see a 1-year cycle. I see a 2-year cycle. I see a 3-year cycle. I do see those right now. I see those kind of 4 elements right there. I went to everything from Castaway to Gladiator. That was I saw an original version of Gladiator that nobody, maybe besides executives at DreamWorks, had seen. I saw because I was in charge of the masters at that time. My job was to go wherever the masters went. I had to kind of the masters were the 35mm rolls of film. It was magnificent. I saw a 3-hour, I think it was just over a 3-hour version of Gladiator that was the most epic thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'll never forget that time to this day. I saw things in that movie that people will never have that privilege to see. That was my blessing. What happens when I'm at DreamWorks? I beat Alfred Hitchcock's record, and I shoot a movie with the longest take. It was over 84 minutes long. You guys, this is stuff you can't do. You can't do this stuff. I did it because I believed in it. I kept believing I could do things that were extraordinary, and extraordinary things kept happening. These are just a few examples. I'm giving you like little tidbits of what I've been able to accomplish. I was in the Guinness Book of World Records. I was the first mentioned filmmaker in the entire movie section of the Guinness Book of World Records 2020, above Michael Bay, above George Lucas, above Steven Spielberg. I manifested that because I believed so much in what I wanted to do. I just attracted it to me. Like attracts like. So let's get into it, okay? Let me tell you what, guys. When you break a record, like especially of a filmmaker like Alfred Hitchcock, you're set far and beyond apart. Okay, the laws of sacred manifestation. Let's do a deep dive and discover what's going on here. Excellent. So I love this, okay? The world is a mirror, forever reflecting what you are doing within yourself. Neville Goddard. Neville came to Los Angeles. Do some research. He's an amazing human being. Came to Los Angeles. He was in the same school of thought as Joseph Murphy. I'm another big fan of Joseph Murphy. We'll talk about him later. What the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between reality and fantasy. So what it sees, it believes. Okay. So if you keep holding up pictures of the same boat you want or the same job you want, eventually it mirrors that. You become it, because the subconscious mind thinks that's reality. Because remember, it doesn't know the difference between reality and fantasy. And when you're sleeping, that's the best time for programming, because when you're sleeping, it's 8 hours you have for the mind to be hyper-focused on content. Okay, here's some nice little facts I want to share with you and why I believe you are sacred. Okay, when I was doing some meditation, when I was living in a meth trailer, I was doing some meditation. This image kept coming out of my mind. So when I was meditating, I was using Jose Silva's method. He was a radio technician who got into figuring out how the mind works through vibration, right? Vibrations, airwaves. In between that space, that open space, is where magnificent happens, where creation happens. In between those waves, those vibrations. Okay, I digress. I kept having this image come up. This to me is a secret equation. We store and we have so much energy. We do not even realize that we are a temple. Yes, you are a temple. You are a temple. You are sacred. Yes, you have no idea how magnificent you are. I mean, this is just like several facts instead of the thousands of facts that there are. So here's a few one. 100,000 miles of blood vessels. Every second, you produce 25 million cells. You contain trillions of bacteria. Bacteria. You carry trillions of them. So just think of how the body can heal itself with carrying all this bacteria in it. Information zooms along our nerves at 400 kilometers per hour. That's almost 250 miles per hour. Now, yes, I've done north of 100 miles an hour in my Mercedes-Benz, and I've owned a Porsche, but yes. And once with my good friend Oscar, we did over 100 kilometers an hour. That was kind of fast, but nothing like miles. And the only muscle that never dies is the heart. And the heart and the gut are separate to the brain. The brain doesn't control the heart. The brain doesn't control the gut. They're three separate entities, right? The average person has approximately 60,000 thoughts per day. That to me is just like never-ending story. Forever and ever. That's just amazing. Just think about that for a moment. Give or take 60,000 thoughts in a day. Now, guys, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to heal you, and I'm not going to cure you or whatever. I'm just giving you some stats. Do a Google search. That's what you're going to find in Google search. It's very simple. Or do ChatGPT. I love ChatGPT. The DNA in every cell in the human body is long enough to warp around the earth more than 10 million times. Now, in my clinical hypnotherapy studies, when I do past life regression, I do not do, age regression. I do not take you back into this time. I don't. If you have a presenting issue, I focus on the present you, and we focus on making that solution. The problem is the solution, by the way, just to let you know that. The problem is the solution. I do past life. We can go into your DNA, your lineage, thousands of years ago, who your aunts and uncles and grandparents and who your legacy was. We can go way back there. It's called past life regression. Yes, I have done it and it works.